Yeah, man!
Hello, my name is Miguel, and today I'm gonna make for you okra fritters. You're gonna need 3 between 6 pods of okra, quarter cut piece of onion, piece of scallion, a stalk of scallion, 1 garlic clove, quarter teaspoon shredded parsley, dried basil, quarter teaspoon of salt, 1 cup all-purpose flour, quarter piece of shredded red pepper, or you can use a Scotch bonnet pepper, or you can use a quarter teaspoon of shredded red pepper, and we're going to use half cup of water thereabout. Visit jamaicadinners.com for the recipe. With your okra pods, just cut off the stem, and the tip of the okra. Next, scallion. Cut off root end and the tip of the scallion. Peel garlic clove. We just need a small piece of onion, so just cut like quarter of an onion. This is a vegan fritters. Once you do that, we're going to give our vegetables a rinse. Add enough water in a bowl. Drizzle several drops of distilled white vinegar. Use your fingers and rub the scallion's leaf clean. Use your finger and rub the okra skins clean. Once you do that, throw off that water and give your vegetables a final rinse. It's best if you do this part on the fresh running water. Now, dice scallion fine. It's really up to you how much scallion you want to use. I'm just using a small piece, but you could have used that 1 small stalk of scallion. So do what I'm doing and dice scallion fine. After that, grind garlic to puree. This is a quarter piece cut of Scotch bonnet pepper. If you don't have access to Scotch bonnet pepper, you can always use shredded red pepper. It's optional as well. After that, dice the onion fine. And before I forget, I'm going to saute the onions with the scallion and the garlic. But you can always use it raw, you don't have to saute it. Do what I'm doing and dice onion fine. Keep vegetables separate. Keep ingredients separate. Measure and add a quarter teaspoon of dried parsley, quarter teaspoon of dried basil, The herbs are optional as well. But if you ask me, I would say use it. It only spruces the flavor. Once you do that, put your ingredients aside for later. Now, cut okra wheels. Do what I'm doing. You need it to be about 1/2 inch thickness. Once you do that, put it aside for later. Put to heat a small saucepan. Put the stove gauge on low, almost off low. We're gonna saute our diced okra. To ensure that the okra is cooked in the fritters, I like to saute it for a minute or two. Once the saucepan is dried out, there's no water in the saucepan. After 30 seconds, add 1/2 teaspoon of cooking oil. I use coconut oil. You can use olive oil instead. Allow 30 seconds between a minute for the oil to get hot. After that time and you see a little smoke, add your diced onions. A few seconds after, add your diced scallions. A few seconds after that, add your mashed garlic. Stir it in, stir it in. Add your diced okra. Stir it in, stir it in. Use the saucepan's lid, cover the pan. The stove gauge is on low. Almost off low, like this. But you don't want it to burn, so you gotta keep the flame on low. You can add about a teaspoon of water just to aid the steaming. Stir it in. Use the pan's lid, cover it and allow. After a minute, this is what it looks like. Stir it in. We are just sauteing the okra. In some sense, we are tenderizing the okra to add it to the fritters batter. I'm going to let it stay for a minute. Just use the pan's lid, cover it and allow. 2 minutes now, and this is what it looks like. This is what you want. The okra is tenderized halfway. Turn the stove off. Just cover it until you're ready for it. Now we're going to mix our fritters batter. We're using all-purpose flour. When using all-purpose flour, you don't need baking powder. If you are using counter flour now, then you would use a teaspoon of baking powder. Measure and add 1 cup of all-purpose flour in a bowl. Measure 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I use sea salt. Add your herbs, basil, dried parsley. You can use any of these herbs fresh, dice it fine. Add your pepper. Remember, you can use shredded red pepper instead. And remember, pepper is optional. And don't think because we add the pepper it's gonna be spicy. It's not gonna be spicy. It's just for flavoring. Do what I'm doing. Add your pre-cooked diced okra along with the sauteed seasonings. We used 3 pods of okra. You could have used maybe as much as 5. It's really up to you. Now measure and add half cup water. I didn't fill this container up fully, so it's kind of short, so I'm gonna add some more water. Visit JamaicaDinners.com for the recipe. At the end of the day, you want your dough to be thick enough that when you lift the spoon, your dough just run off easily. Not too watery. You want it to be just right. So sometimes you might need to add a little bit more water. So it's best if you add the water bit by bit. Mix your dough smooth. From the look of this, you could have used up to 6 okra pods. This is okra fritters, so you want to have okra in it. So that's the idea. Put it aside for later. Next, put to heat a large saucepan. Put the stove's gauge on high, 6. If the skillet has water in it, use a clean paper towel and dry the saucepan clean. Dry the saucepan and allow. After 30 seconds, between 40 seconds, there's no water in the saucepan, add enough oil. Add enough oil for cooking. I use coconut oil. This is our dough. This is what you want. You want the dough to be just right, that when you lift it up, it drops easily. Allow. Once you see a little smoke, that's what you want. After 30 seconds, between a minute, and you see a little smoke, the oil is hot enough for frying. So do what I'm doing. Use your spoon, use a tablespoon, and take out a tablespoon of dough and add it to the heating oil. You gotta be quick. If it's dripping, just add the dough over the dripping. So if it's dripping the oil, you know you gotta put the fritters over the part that's already in the oil. I know it looks a little bit intimidating, but just do it quickly and get it over with. Usually with the last one, you just gather your fritters dough in the bowl and just drain it in the heating oil. And be sure to put each fritter in its own little spot in the heating oil. A few might be touching. All you do, use a cooking fork and separate the fritters. The stove's gauge is on 6 high. Use a fork and separate the fritters that's sticking. It's about a minute. You can take a look. Once it starts to have a golden color around the edges, that's a sign to say it's ready for flipping, or it's ready to be flipped. After a minute between two, flip fritters. This is what you want. We are on the right track. Allow. Just to go over what we did already. So it's a minute and a half between 2 minutes to fry on one side. Just watch it. Minute and a half between 2 minutes. This is what it looks like. That's what you want. You want it to have a nice golden color. What I like to do is flip the fritters one more time on the other side and fry it for 1 more minute just to get that golden color on the other side. What's going on now? The oil and the saucepan is hot, real hot now, so it's cooking faster. You want your fritters to be crispy. So it's a minute. So in all, these fritters took 3 minutes to about 3 minutes and a half to cook. So do what I'm doing and remove the ones then that's cooked already. Lay your fried. If you do it like me, you don't have to put it on a paper towel because it's not sucking up oil. When you have the stove's flame on high, the fritters don't suck up oil. And if you use good oil like me, it's okay if you eat a little bit of coconut oil. Normally I don't drain it, but if you want, you can put your cooked fried fritters on a clean paper towel and allow it to drain. Once you do that, turn the stove off and move your skillet to a cool spot on the stove. This is Okra Fritters. Visit JamaicaDinners.com for the recipe. Subscribe, like, and share. You should try cooking this okra fritters yourself. Give us feedback when you do. Okra fritters. This is okra fritters. I'm gonna break one so you can see. You can see the okra. There's plenty of space for more. So we could have used the 6 pods of okra. The flavor of it is fresh. It's a true vegan snack. It's crunchy and delicious. It has a clean flavor. I can taste the okra, and the okra It's definitely cooked. Okra can be eaten raw, so I didn't have to saute the okra. We could have just add the chopped okra with all the raw vegetables in it in the fritters batter and cook it that way. But but the okra might come out a little bit rawish and some people might not like that. Alright guys, bye until next time. Yeah man!